Wrestling fans, Boston Wrestling MWF Summer of 7 p.m., 7 nights a week has exploded online. Join the superstars and legends on Wrestling Insiders every night at 7 p.m. Spread the word. As first reported to our Boston Wrestling MWF family on Patreon, big things are happening as we wrap up our biggest spring ever and kick off our Summer of 7 p.m. beginning Memorial Day night, when brand new Wrestling Insider episodes premiere at 7 p.m., 7 days per week. We also kick off our Make-A-Wish Drive in high gear to help grant wishes to awesome kids that have been waiting over a year in many cases. After an Extreme Saturday with New Jack and a Demolition doubleheader with Axe, put the women and children to bed. As fresh from the Shawn Michaels A&E biography, Marty Jannetty returns for a Party with Marty triple header, Friday, June 18th, Saturday, June 19th, and then joining us again for the WWE Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, Sunday, June the 20th, taping episodes of Wrestling Insiders, watch-alongs, and cyber autograph signings. It's going to be a huge weekend that demands fan involvement. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com for complete information and pre-ordering option. Let's help keep wrestling legends working and great wrestling talk show content being produced. We can't do it without you. Help us explode into summer. 7 nights a week at 7 p.m.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, we wish you a very happy Sunday from downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, the zip code of Champion 02176. It is another episode of your favorite Sunday night adventure, Wrestling Insiders Stern but Fair. I am Dan Mirade, along with your host, the former Millennium Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion, now board of director member, Mr. Tiger Mulligan, coming to you from beautiful New Jersey, where John Cena Sr.'s female partner in crime, Moniece, is for a wedding this weekend. Tiger, how are you?
I am doing excellent. Thank you for asking. I'm getting ready to be pretty stern today. If you don't mind, I'm going to be extra stern, but I'll be fair.
All right, well, as long as you're fair, you can be as stern as you want. I was very interested in some of the things you said when I was at the Red Sox game Friday night about these plans you have up your sleeves. I will not reveal what that is because I consider that privy information until you decide to make it public on your own. But, you got a few things, even for a tiger in the jungle, you've got a few things up your sleeves.
I mean, you always have to have a few things up your sleeve. You can't just go into certain situation without a game plan.
Well, I have a T-shirt on, so I guess I don't have any sleeves.
I mean, I have a T-shirt on too, but there's a half a sleeve. I got something up my half sleeve. All
right. Well, what do we got cooking this week? First off, I don't know if you want to go into that end of the pool, but if you want to start off maybe in the shallow end, how are things looking in the King of Sports this week since we last spoke?
You know what? I don't know. I like there's a bunch of stuff. You know what? It's I couldn't watch Raw. Like I just didn't watch it. I turned it on for a little bit and I'm like, I'm done. They finally kicked me in the gut enough to where I just turned it off.
Was this the weekend? Was this the week, I should say, where they ended it with the puppet? I think so.
I don't know because I didn't get that far. It's just it just was a.
Did you see the? Well, let me ask, in case to show you where my brain is all over the place. Did you see the episode that ended where Herman Munster, Shayna Baszler ran from Alexa Bliss's puppet all over the building?
No, I'm assuming that
must have been this week then, because it was maybe because that was my question to the fans was this the worst ending in the history of the 28 years of the show? And I think yes.
I mean, I didn't watch it, but what you're explaining to me, it would tell me yes. And like I said, I barely got through 5 minutes before I just I clicked it off just because I couldn't watch it.
This badass MMA shoot fighter that they built up to be the next Ronda Rousey in NXT ran from an 8-foot-inch stuffed animal.
Yeah,
I mean, this is what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, it sucks because Shayna Baszler could have the potential to be somebody, really worth watching and be that badass, like you said. But Yeah, you like the word castrate, man. They've completely buried her career, and I don't see it ever coming back.
It's atrocious. I mean, and you know what? Granted, you're talking now, what, after almost 30 years, 1,300 episodes of the program, and, you know, one of them has got to be the worst ever, but I think we bared witness this week. I could not believe my eyes.
Yeah, it's smut TV, honestly.
Smut TV, that's what you consider it to be.
It's just because it's not watchable. To me, smut TV is not watchable, and that's what it is. You know, I don't know. Like, there's no word for it. There's no explanation for it. They just keep trying to push whatever envelope they're trying to push, and it's pushing it right into the garbage. And I don't know what they're trying to get across. Maybe they just don't have the capabilities of writing a 3-hour TV show. I don't think they ever did, but now it's really evident that they don't. They don't have the right people in place to actually do anything. You know, Alexa Bliss, she's a really good competitor. She's very good in the ring. She's good on the mic. She could do whatever it is you ask her to do, but it just is hokey. Like, I don't like hokey. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm old and bitter, but I don't like hokey.
No, I can't think of any demographic that says, geez, give me more of Lizzie the puppet.
Is it Lizzie? Is that her name?
Yeah, she even has a name.
Wow. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't name it after her dead pig.
Oh, well, I don't think the pig had died yet, so that's probably the reason why.
Not
to be confused with the pigs we spoke about with TJP accidentally, where my mind went in the gutter.
Right.
I
mean, like it always does.
Pigs in Las Vegas. I was blown away that he even said it, and then he had to explain to me what he meant. So
that's great.
All right, well,
that's a great story. I wish I was there for that one.
You know what? Yes, it was humorous on video, and it was humorous in person as well, where I was very confused by TJ being so outspoken about what he had back home, only to realize that they were pigs that you'd find on a farm. So,
well, hey, listen, I'm sure maybe not in Vegas he's got his pigs, but maybe somewhere else.
Maybe somewhere else. There you go.
He's a good-looking guy. I'm sure he's got no problem getting those pigs.
Well, there you go.
Anyways. So let's switch gears and go over to SmackDown. SmackDown wasn't bad. I actually ended up watching it this morning. I woke up early and watched the DVR version of it so I could flip through my commercials. But it wasn't terrible. I do like some of the stuff they're trying to accomplish with it. Some of the other stuff I still scratch my head at. One thing that really stuck out in my mind, Kevin Owens. Watching him work, I really think he's on a different level.
Is it a good way or a bad way?
No, in a good way. Really? I honestly do.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, his appearance isn't the greatest. I've never really been a big fan of that, but at the same time, I just think his work is really solid. He knows where to be. He's got good timing. I just think he has it. And I really think that if they ever decided to get behind him, he could be a top guy. He stood out for me. I don't understand what they did at the end of that match, though, where now is Sami Zayn going to be a babyface, which doesn't really make much sense. They had that big goof kind of turn on him. He didn't even do the move right. The spike thing that he's doing doesn't do it right. He should have a tape fist or a tape thumb at least to make it look more menacing. But he didn't even. I didn't understand all of that. But the rest of it,
with Kevin Owens, I think they did a good job introducing him back in 2005 in that feud with Cena, and it's pretty much been all downhill.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I don't enjoy it. I don't.
I don't know. I think unfortunately, I think that they kind of pigeonholed him into that kind of Dolph Ziggler role, where you just know he's never really going to grab that brass ring and get it. I thought it was a good idea when they had the Universal title on him at one point in time.
Yes. Yeah, that would have been 2016, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was back a while ago.
They tried.
Nobody saw it coming. I mean, I certainly didn't. And it was different, and it was good. I liked the stuff that he did with Jericho during that point in time. But then after that, he gets squashed by Goldberg, doesn't get anything out of that. They most recently.
Well, what do you think would have been a more valuable main event for that WrestleMania, Rob? Goldberg and Lesnar or Jericho and Owens?
No, I think Jericho and Owens would have been better.
You think that would have been a more marquee main event for WrestleMania in Orlando? Those two instead of Goldberg and Lesnar.
I think that based on story and based on just everything that they had going on, I do. Yeah, absolutely. They didn't have a very good match, but they were in a bad. They were just put in a bad situation.
I think they went on second, so they.
Yeah. And listen, they didn't need to close the show. I don't think they needed to close the show, but I think that they needed to continue their feud with that title through to WrestleMania, and it was only 3 weeks later on. So
I mean, look at what it was built around. The Festival of Friendship. I mean, you're going to build your marquee.
That was good stuff.
For the mid-card, sure. Main event for WrestleMania material, no. That would have ranked up there with Triple H feuding with Stephanie, with Chris Jericho as her world champion sidekick with the dog that shit on the floor and got hit by the car or whatever it was that happened.
What the fuck? I don't even remember any of that.
Remember WrestleMania 18 when Triple H worked Jericho and it wound up because I guess they didn't feel Jericho was worthy enough of the spotlight. It turned into pretty much Triple H and Stephanie feuding headed into Mania.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do remember that. Okay.
And I remember a dog was involved at some point.
I don't remember a dog.
The dog either got hit by a car or it went to the bathroom on the floor or one of the or maybe both. I'm gonna have to pull up lousy.
I'm gonna have to pull up the network and go back and check this one out because I don't remember that at all.
Classic, yes. You have to. You have to.
It ranks up there with Savage and Steamboat from WrestleMania 3.
The one thing that impressed me was how many people got up and left as that match started.
Oh, you were at this one?
I was. Yeah, it was up at Toronto with the Sky Dome, and I think it was 2 or 3 matches after Hogan and The Rock, and the people saw what they came to see.
Yeah, I mean, you can't put. I do agree that the belt should go on last, the championship should go on last, and I think in that particular time period, you have Hogan, Rock. I think you had Austin and Scott Hall at that point.
Yeah, and
why wouldn't you put those guys on last? You know what I mean? But
Triple. I'll say this since we are fair on Fair but Stern. Triple H got one of the great reactions in his comeback from. I think he tore his quad. When he came back to MSG in January of 2002, that was a reaction for the ages. So you got to give him credit.
I was at that show.
Were you? You were broing?
I was broing. That was kind of mind blowing because I remember seeing Triple H earlier in the day, and it seemed like he was nervous that people were going to boo him.
Really?
And like it just wasn't going to be like he thought he was just going to get shit on, but it ended up being really good.
Now, the thing about wrestling is whether you're a heel or a baby face, once you've been gone for a certain amount of time, the people are going to be happy to see you. So
of course.
I think even the company itself should always be prepared for any heel coming back after a sabbatical, whether it be injury or whether they leave due to the contract expiring. Like Lesnar, he left as a heel, but I think the fans will be genuinely happy to see him once he does make his eventual return, at least for a few weeks until he does something sinister.
It happened with Seth Rollins too. Like when he blew his knee out the first time, he came back. He got cheered. Luckily he was able to turn it back around and be that heel that he wanted to be. But
the most boring heel in the history of professional wrestling.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know why this just popped into my head, but as I was watching SmackDown today, I don't know what the girl's name is. Megan something, the backstage analyst.
I lose track of their names really quick.
I now truly understand what you mean with this no-name, faceless person who doesn't know how to talk. It was so bad.
I'm impressed you got a name.
Because I didn't know who she was. I was like, who is this and why is she so bad? And then
how did you find out her name? Did they mention it or did you?
Yeah, Rey Mysterio mentioned it.
Oh, did he? Okay. They were really putting her over then.
I mean, very, very strong. I don't know. But we were just talking about Triple H. Let's sidebar a little bit. Triple H got a lot of heat this week, no?
He did, yes. His conference call didn't go according to plan. As usually he gets a pretty good response from the fans.
Yeah, but it seemed like he kind of was...
Little testy.
You know what?
Little testy.
Maybe because, you know what? I don't disagree with some of the stuff that he said. And we were talking about it last week about these all-girl shows, and your boy John Cena Sr. wants to do an all-girl show, and now Mickey James is coming out wanting to do an all-girl show.
Everybody. They're all listening to Johnny's talk show, I guess.
And it's, I think Triple H just kind of put it in a certain aspect of, he didn't basically come out and say, like, it's not going to draw, or it doesn't make money, but he basically said, listen, if you want to, why not? We highlight them on all 3 shows. Why do they need a separate show? Why does it have to be separate but equal type of thing? And I kind of agree with what he's saying.
Have you ever heard of the WNBA?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I think in that aspect, it's a little different. No, I mean, but I guess nobody watches the WNBA either because I never see them on TV.
All I know is that I have it right here. Let me see. When they introduced Sasha and Sasha and Becky and Charlotte at January of 2015, give Divas a chance, rah, rah, rah. 3.5 million people were watching Raw. Now, it's less than half of that. Now, and then, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. That is certainly not the only reason why the ratings and the popularity have plummeted. But when every business metric across the board has plummeted, you can't say they've done anything to help the fact.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. It's
is that fair?
Yeah, that is definitely fair.
Right. Is it Stern?
I think the Stern part is they just don't know what the hell they're doing. Honestly, they don't know how to write TV anymore.
I just
they don't know how to do anything.
People, I mean, they couldn't have done more to prop Rousey and Charlotte and Becky, and nobody cared at the end of the day. Those people leaving the building were depressed that it was over. That's how they ended it.
Yeah, but here's my question: why are they waiting so long to bring Becky back?
Well, she had a baby.
See what?
She had a baby.
Yeah, but that was back in December. I mean, I've seen some stuff online with her. She looks fantastic.
It takes a while for that female body to get back to where it was. Maybe she wants to spend time with her baby.
So then let's put it this. So, we're talking about this now. Okay, so a quick little transition and another quick little sidebar. You got her out with she had a baby. Lacey Evans is out pregnant. I don't get it. Like, why are they choosing now to do all this stuff?
It's just another reason why I wouldn't push them. And I know, again, that sounds kind of cold, but here's the thing. I think it's great that for a human being, if they want to go out and have kids, I think that's wonderful. But here's my problem with it all. And I don't know, we weren't doing this talk show back then, but at least with Evans and Becky, alert the company a few months ahead of time. This is what I want to do, and this is how I want to do it. So they can plan accordingly and,
write them off.
They built everything around Becky Lynch, which I don't agree with at all, but that's what they chose to do. Why not give the company the chance to at least put someone over in the process before the baby is in the tummy, and then at least you have a shot at building a new champion instead of giving Asuka the belt in a briefcase and having her scream in Japanese.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for a quick slingshot type of thing, it was okay. I mean, it didn't make much sense, but it was okay. They couldn't have done it any other way. But at the same time, it's like, why not just do a match with a quick roll up? You know what I mean? Like the bell rings and Asuka rolls her up. I'm sure Becky would have done it. She's not going to get hurt. It's
Asuka
fine.
Maybe could have blown the mist in her eyes or something, and then she rolled her up.
Just rolls her up.
Yeah, but why not? But instead of that, why not just do it the professional way? Alert the company. This is what you want to do. This is when you want to do it, and give them a chance to book a program to get someone over really get someone over, as opposed to a slip on a banana peel loss.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, it's the same thing with Lacey. All of a sudden, she's doing this angle with Ric Flair and Charlotte, and then the next week she's coming out and says, "I'm pregnant. I can't work anymore."
And I have to admit, I love that angle. I thought that was one of the better things they've done, male or female wise, in a while. I was really enjoying that part of the show, and then poof, gone.
Yeah,
I couldn't have cared less about Becky Lynch leaving, her in her pickup trucks.
See, I liked Becky. Yeah, I thought it was different. I liked it. But I think a lot of people care. She has a lot of the top merch coming out of her.
Not even the top 10.
Oh, stop it! Yes, she was.
I know for a fact. She may have cracked the top 10, but she was very low on the totem. When you have the NWO in Austin selling more merchandise than Becky Lynch, you have a problem.
Well, no. See, that's the thing, is that what people aren't understanding is the NWO in Austin were over. Hulk Hogan was over. Nobody's over right now. Nobody's doing anything right now. That's the problem. There's no such thing as a character. There's no such thing as a entertainer. There's no such thing as a wrestler. No, nobody's over. The product's not over, and in turn, none of the workers are over. I would be willing to bet if you took I don't know, you plucked 5 people out, 5 wrestlers, male and or female or a mixture of both, and put them in an airport with a million people, they wouldn't be recognized. It's because they're not larger than life characters. And that's the problem with the product these days, is there's no such thing as the character base. There's no such thing as somebody trying to get over for the sake of getting over. The only person right now that's really trying to be a heel, and I've said it before, is probably MJF. He's trying to be a true heel. But other than that,
what about Roman?
No, I think what Roman's doing now is really good. He's never looked any better. But is he a true heel? No, not really. I don't think so. Really? He's not doing anything. In my eyes, is he doing anything that's heel?
Yeah, he's being a villain. Look at what they're doing to the Mysterios right now.
But that doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. So I know it made sense,
but I'm just saying he's doing heel things.
Yeah, I mean, he's beating up the kid and putting him in a chokehold and whatnot. I guess I could see it from that point of view, but I don't know. I still don't understand the whole Paul Heyman thing with him. I think it's actually now starting to make him look even worse than he should. Roman. It doesn't make any sense to have Paul Heyman there anymore. Paul Heyman served his purpose the first time that he came out with him. Now it's just Paul's there in the background. Why do you need somebody to carry your title for you? That's all he's doing. He's not talking. He's not doing anything. And then he tries to get him over on Talking Smack the next day? It doesn't make any sense.
You think it's time for him to wait for Brock to come back? Or
if Brock is coming back for SummerSlam, I don't know if he is or not, but if he is and he doesn't do something with Roman, it makes zero sense to bring Brock back.
Well, the rumored mill match was
him and Bobby Lashley, right?
Right, which would be different brands. But I don't know. Can managers work on different brands? Is there a rule?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what they're going to do, is where Brock comes back, Paul Heyman's there, and then Roman gets upset and is like, why are you over there? You're supposed to be with me, blah, 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 handling my affairs, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe that's how they do that. But then what? Does it become champion versus champion? Because, Brock's going to go over. He's not going to and maybe he'll do a one and done. I don't know. But it wouldn't make much sense if he did.
Nah. If he's going to come back for the money that he's going to want, my educated
they got to get at least 4 shots out of it.
Yeah, I mean he'll be around as he was before. I think. Yeah,
I mean I would think. Well, I don't even know if it's going to be that as much as he did. I can't see him doing a lot of the actual TVs. But you say the 4 big pay-per-views, put them on. SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Rumble, and Mania, with sprinkle in a few, maybe 1 or 2, Monday Night Raws in between. That's all you need from him, though.
Oh, I agree with you 100% on that.
But that's all they need from anybody. If you want them to be watched and you want to make it worth something while to put on TV, then don't put them on every freaking segment every week.
Well, I think that goes for everybody. Imagine if everybody was limited to 1 or 2 appearances per month on TV, how anxious you might be to actually want to see them on the show.
See, here's the thing, and I think they need to go back to, like I said, squash matches, and enhancement matches.
Yeah.
Do you want somebody to get over? Nobody gets over now. They do all this stupid 50-50 booking. It doesn't make any sense. Last week, Carmella won. This week, Liv Morgan won. How does anybody get over in that specific thing? And they're trying to push this whole character with Carmella, which I don't understand. And Liv Morgan doesn't look. She's like half, black leather, half Riot Squad. Like, who's Liv Morgan now? It's just, I don't know, man. They're really drawing for straws. They really, really are, and it sucks. It's a bad product.
People, not straws.
Yeah, but they just let them all go. They let them all go, and I mean, the ones they let go, are they worth letting go? Sure, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Speaking of letting somebody go, Braun Strowman asking for $25,000 a shot. Are you kidding me?
Is that really what the number is?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. $25,000 or maybe 20. I mean, I think Sting gets $25,000.
No, he doesn't even get anywhere near that. That's the problem with someone like Strowman. They took him in from the world of he never trained on the independents. Yep. Never went out and trained at a quote unquote wrestling school. They found him during one of the manhunts for talent, I guess maybe is the best way to word it. He was paid a great deal of money to leave bodybuilding and softball behind to train and become a WWE superstar, and he has no idea how professional wrestling works outside of the auspices of WWE. So, I mean, if that's what he's used to, thinking for a fair payoff from them for a big event, sure, why not ask for it? But, I mean, could you even see giving him 10?
No, not at all.
I don't either.
5, maybe.
Yeah, I think that would be about right.
5.
Yeah.
That's an appearance, maybe. That's an autograph signing. 6 to work a match if he's going to work. I don't know. I don't know how these guys really do it. Like, for me, it sucks. Like, I was never in that position that he's in right now. But at the same time, just knowing my mentality, I would make more money taking and book more shows taking a little bit less, because you got to figure with all the merch on top of it that you could sell if you set up a table and your pictures and things like that. If you actually hustle, you end up making more money than you will just taking that $5,000.
Oh, he'd make a fortune off of his merchandise sales.
Hell yeah, he would. Hell yeah, he would. But I don't think he's got that. I don't know if he's got it in him or not. And that goes for any of them. Honestly, they're just looking for that. The only one, and I have it here in my notes, to me, the only guy that really put his nose to the grindstone and went out and hustled and actually is making money right now is probably Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder.
Oh, yeah.
He's making tons of waves. And it's crazy because every time I pull up any kind of, whether it be Twitter or, some dirt sheet or something online, he's always there in the headlines, whether it be from his podcasts or from the shows that he's doing. He bounced around from AEW, now Impact, the stuff that he's doing on the indies right now. I mean, he gets it. It's crazy that more people don't look at him and say, oh, that's what I got to do.
Well, and you know what? It goes all the way back to his time in WWE. It's just unfortunate that WWE didn't want to push him.
Yeah. Oh, like back when he was doing that YouTube series?
Yeah. I mean, he was one of the more over guys in the company, I think.
And he just, I don't know. I don't know if he had heat backstage that he didn't know about, or they just didn't want to pull the trigger. They didn't see any value in it. But that just goes to show you, when they don't see something in you, even if you go out and do it yourself, they're still not going to push it because it wasn't their idea. That's just the way it goes.
I think that is where the problem came from. It's not that it was a personality issue or a professionalism issue. It was just, thanks for getting over. Maybe we'll keep you around for 10 years and use you as an undercard guy, or just sit around in catering. But it just, they never wanted to pull the trigger and do anything very meaningful with him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And, it looks like he's like that Dolph Ziggler, and he's like that Bobby Roode. And these guys are really good and can be good, but they just don't pull the trigger on them for whatever reason.
All right,
I don't know.
All right, wrestling fans. Right now, we are going to pull the trigger, because we have to take this brief time out. So many big things happening here in the world of Boston wrestling. We had the all-day Week in Review episode. We had the Patreon exclusive premiere of episode 2 of New Jack. The final interviews over at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. We'll be back on the flip side with more Wrestling Insiders, fair but stern. Stand by. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Mirade.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this WWE NXT TakeOver War Games 2020 11x14 limited edition autograph poster signed by everyone on the event. Number 23 of only 100 made. Includes signatures from the Undisputed Era: Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, Io Shirai, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Dexter, Loomis, and more. Comes with authentication hologram on the back of the poster. Also comes with mystery autographed 8x10 and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE, NXT, and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
WWE is coming home to Kansas City with Monday Night Raw. WWE is back with Monday Night Raw in Kansas City, Monday, July 26th. Tickets on sale now.
Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. Stern
but fair. Get it right, my man. Come on.
What did I say?
You said fair but stern. It's stern but fair.
Well, it's been,
it's only been 5 weeks or 6 weeks.
60-something straight days without a day off from this place. But I apologize to the fans at home. If they were with us earlier in the day, they enjoyed 6+ hours of Wrestling Insiders Week in Review with Tony Atlas, Oscar, John Cena Sr., Marty Jannetty, and the man making his debut on the program, the Hall of Famer, Gerald Briscoe, who talked about his release from WWE, the JBL that he and I know, the real JBL. We discussed the passing of Pat Patterson, some of Jerry Briscoe's recruits. Very interesting. If you missed the big, long Week in Review episode, you can find the individual episode in the YouTube archives or, again, at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling if you wanted ad-free and to help keep the wrestling legends working. Cheap plug. I thought the interview was pretty good. I don't know if you watched it, but
I have not gotten a chance to see it yet, but I know, from firsthand, Jerry Briscoe is top notch. He'll tell you to you straight, but he'll also give you a ways to improve. He'll give you the time of day. He's top notch in my book. Great guy.
Well, the seminar he did with the great talent here in Boston, Wrestling MWF, was very well received. Carmelo Hayes, the former Christian Casanova, was part of it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. Hey,
very happy for that.
He's a smart man because he's learning from the best, and that's the only way you're going to improve is to continue your learning.
Well, I have a feeling before it's all said and done, we'll see more of Jerry Briscoe in WWE. One man's opinion.
We'll see where it goes. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. All right.
Yeah.
Well, what else is going on in the King of Sports? I know you know what?
I really want to get back into this all-girls show a little bit, and really get your opinions on it because, it looks like they're going to run it through the NWA, right? Which I mean,
nobody.
I don't know if that's good or bad
or
or
worth
different.
anything is what NWA stands for now, but
it's funny because the only reason they're doing that route is because of who she's married to. So was it Nick Aldis is the champion there and whatnot? But I mean, do you obviously know that she's gonna pull all strings to get whoever she can get on that show, and I don't even know when they're gonna do it and how long it's gonna be, but I don't know. I mean, you think it's gonna be? Are you gonna watch it just for the intrigue of seeing a disaster, or are you just gonna say screw it, I'm not gonna watch it?
They were trying to sell tickets to that disaster they had in New York, where was it, Long Island, for I think $3 and $5 once it came close to show day, just to say they could fill it.
What was that, the Evolution pay-per-view?
Yes.
Yeah. They were giving it away at some point.
It was pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean, but is it different with what she's trying to do? Sure. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be in a much smaller, intimate venue. The overhead isn't going to be what WWE had to face, but at the same time, it just falls into me that category of nobody cares.
Do you think it's going to devalue it if they do that small setting in the studio and stuff like that? I think it does.
If we were under normal times, I would say yes more than no. But right now, I don't. I think it's actually probably the better time to try and do it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree in that aspect. But at the same time, we're kind of coming to a point now where everybody's going to start touring again, and you're starting to see more and more indie shows on the weekends. And I think if they stick with this model that they have with little to no fans in that small studio, I just don't know if that's going to work. I think it's going to look really bad and make it look bush league for somebody that's trying to say that the best girls don't work for WWE, and it can make money and it can draw and this and that. It just is going to make it's really not helping their point at all.
I have no idea why the NWA even exists. I have no idea why Billy Corgan, who's a very nice guy and a very smart guy, would waste his money on something like this. That it's just, again, to me, when was the last time NWA had any value? Maybe a tiny bit when it was the focus of the TNA World Championship 15 or so years ago before they took it away from them. Other than that, I mean,
when Jeff Jarrett was running it down there? Yeah, I could see that. I mean, even at that point, I don't know if it really had any kind of lineage. I mean, it had the lineage, but I don't think it had anything to it.
At least it was a championship belt that was being defended on a show that was being seen by a million or so people a week. You know what I mean? Now it's just, what is it now, a YouTube show? I mean,
I don't even know. I don't know where to see it. I have no idea. I see clips on YouTube and I see clips through social media, but I don't know where I would be able to find it, to be perfectly honest with you. They don't do good marketing. I'll tell you that.
I've never seen it once.
No, neither. I've never seen a full show. Yeah, I've never seen a full show. I do think they have some good guys there. Like, I'm a big fan of Trevor Murdoch. I wish he would be doing something somewhere else, so that way I could watch him, because I just like his style. Reminds me of Harley Race and Dick Murdoch and some of these other rough, tough guys that I used to like watching. But I mean, other than that, I don't think that they bring much to the table. I don't see what people see in Nick Aldis. I remember him in TNA, but I don't know if he's really
I agree
as
with
good
you
as
on
people
that
say.
too. I don't get it, but
yeah, I mean,
I'm not the one signing the paycheck. He would not be my choice.
It says something to he says that he doesn't want to go to WWE or anywhere else, but does anywhere else want to pick him up, and that's why he is where he is? I mean, I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But
he seems to be pushing for another match with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but if anything, they'll do it on AEW TV.
Yeah,
and if he was smart, he would, because then that's going to bring, hopefully, it would bring more people to that NWA product because they have that following. But who knows? They'll probably do something stupid and put it on some kind of indie show somewhere. I don't know.
I just the NWA, I don't get it. Ring of Honor, at this point, I don't even get it. I don't know why they bother.
Yeah, I mean, Ring of Honor, I haven't seen Ring of Honor in years, and I have no interest in seeing. I don't even know who's in Ring of Honor right now, besides maybe Mike and Maria Kanellis.
When they're owned by a company that has as much, if not more money than WWE, owns their own television networks, why would you not put them on the same channel at the same time every week? So you could say, watch Ring of Honor Tuesday nights at 9, as opposed to it being on a different channel at a different time in every market to make it impossible to try and promote.
Because again, it just goes to show you that people don't know how to do anything. You know, they got all this money. You would think that they would know what to do, and you know, they run TV stations, and yet they don't. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to do more of the online stuff, or they're trying to sell, you know, streaming things as opposed to TV. That's kind of the way the world's kind of turning right now. But I don't know. It's just not working for them. Not in my eyes.
That's a great way to put it. It's not working for them right now.
It's not. It really isn't.
I mean, I guess it's good that they're still alive and providing some people with full-time jobs, but I mean, as far as
but is it really a full-time job? So you're gonna get, and this is where I kind of scratch my head when guys sign contracts. You're gonna sign an exclusive deal to Ring of Honor to get what, $100 a shot for X amount of dates, but you can't go anywhere else to work except for Podunk, Kentucky. Like that to me doesn't make any sense.
Well, you know what? It's different with almost every deal. Some guys have the ability, if they're on the low end of the stick financially, to go out and still be able to work indies. I believe any of them can work anywhere they want to outside of the United States and Ontario. They can work other parts of Canada, and they can work anywhere else in the world. Right now, obviously, that doesn't help the cause where you really can't get out of the country, but it's overall. It's like, who?
Why would you want to pigeonhole that? That would be like, so when I first started, they had a lot more independent, you know, work around, and that would be like me going to, you know, say Jersey Championship Wrestling and signing exclusively with them and not working for anybody else in the state of New Jersey. It would make no sense for me. Like, so why would I want to do that? If you're paying me X amount of dollars to be exclusive, that's one thing. But if you're not making, to be exclusive, you got to be making at least take home 6 figures. So what I mean by that is after all your expenses and everything else is paid and taxes and all that kind of crap, if you're not taking home 6 figures, you're in the wrong spot.
I tell you this, I was shocked at what a couple of guys I found out were making there that you would think would be making, for what Ring of Honor is, a fairly healthy income. I mean, probably less than during your days at Applebee's. I mean, it was insane. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, I make good money at Applebee's.
Well, maybe you were doing better then. I don't know. But it was just, I was literally stunned. I couldn't believe how little these guys were actually making.
They're probably making as much or less than what those guys were making when they were doing, like the Edges and the Christians were making, what was it, like $250 a week to do those camps with Dory Funk. That's what I relate it to. And they're exclusive. They can't go anywhere else. It makes zero sense. It's those guys, the ones that are guys and girls that are signing contracts like that, are marks for themselves, just to say I'm a full-time wrestler. But yet I have to go get another job somewhere, like outside of the business, because I can't pay my bills. That's what it comes down to.
And it's sad, but again, it's stern, but it's fair.
But they only do it to themselves. Like, you know, and it's funny because, you know, we talked briefly about, you know, Cardona, you know, AKA Zack Ryder. You know, he's not I don't know if he's exclusive to Impact, but he's working and he's making money and he's pushing his stuff, and it makes sense. Like, he's not making as much as he did with, you know, WWE, but he's making probably more than anybody else right now.
I don't, you know, I'd be interested to know what he's getting for a payday, but you know, with what he was making with WWE, the way he's gone out and pushed and pushed and pushed,
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a big difference.
I mean, I don't think it is a big difference, and who knows? Maybe he's making the same, if not more, because he's making money off of his podcast.
Oh, he's got the podcast, his live shows that they do. I know someone that was at one. I think maybe it was Friday night. I guess it did very, very well down in your neck of the woods.
That was down in Baltimore, no? In Maryland?
Is that where it
Wasn't
was?
It? Yeah, Jimmy's Famous Seafood, I thought it was.
This weekend?
I don't know if it was this weekend. I know that they just did one recently. Yeah, it was on Friday night, I think. Because I think Jeff Jarrett did one
I know he was doing one down there at the seafood place. But
yeah, that's Conrad's favorite place, man.
Well,
you ever been down there?
I have never been to Jimmy's Famous Seafood.
You won't stray away from Kowloon.
Well, that's where they headed next.
Oh, really?
If for whatever reason, SummerSlam night, which I wouldn't be my first pick, but I don't know.
So who's going up there? Jeff Jarrett or
no?
Cardona.
There you go.
Okay. Hey, listen, I don't get to listen to their podcast often, but sometimes they're pretty funny to listen to, and I enjoy it.
Is it just about wrestling figures, or
that's literally all it's about. It's all it's about. They don't get into the TV shows. They don't get into what they're doing. They literally talk about wrestling figures, and they found their little niche, and nobody else was really doing it, and they got a great following, and with the hustle that they have, good, all the power to them, man. They're doing great, and I wish them nothing but the best.
Good for them. You know what? They're out there working hard and giving people something to enjoy. And look at how many wrestling shows on TV there are every week that there's little enjoyment in.
There's no enjoyment in it.
Well, so there you go. So they're doing something right.
Yeah, and again, that just goes back to the hustle. You got to be able to be willing to put in the time, effort, and energy, and find the right people to kind of work together with you or work for you. They're always putting out new merch, so that way it doesn't get stale and stagnant. Coming up with catchphrases, coming up with different things, and then combining it with all their other stuff that they're doing on the side. I mean, they took that one kid, Mark Sterling, plucked him out of obscurity, and kind of made him, and they got him working full time on their podcast, and now he got signed by AEW, so he just made a career out of it.
Well, good. So, I need someone like that for all of our shows, but that's all right.
Yeah,
I
don't know if you can afford them.
I just need help, and more ways than one, I guess.
My friend, if I knew how to do this editing crap, I would help you with it. But
you are
that's
expanding.
Not my style.
You are expanding what we're doing through the.
Yeah, we do. We have our first.
World.
We ended up getting our first. One of our first episodes out to the podcast world. We had it out on Spotify and Apple, on Apple, Stitcher, and wherever you get your podcasts. What we need you to do though is listen to the show. We need you to give us that 5-star rating, and give us a nice review and the old thumbs up on the YouTube channel, so that way we can keep bringing you these things free each and every week.
And you need to send me the link so I can put it out on the Twitter.
There's no link. What link?
There's no link.
Just
what do you mean there's no link?
You just tell them where to catch it. That's all you got to do. If you got an iPhone, right? You listen to podcasts on your iPhone?
No.
You don't. So most normal people do. Okay? They're not like you. Most people are normal. And all you got to do is go to the I'm even going to pull it up right now, so I don't speak out of turn.
Explain to the fans.
Go to your iTunes. You go to your iTunes store. And in your iTunes store, there's a little thing called search, and you just type in Stern But Fair. And I'm going to do it right now just to prove myself right. And as you type that in, what's going to pop up? But our first episode and the trailer. And it says Stern But Fair. It's got my name right next to it because obviously I'm the one that put it out. And that's right on my Apple phone. You could do it. You can go through Spotify and do the same exact thing. You could do it on Stitcher. You could do it wherever you get your podcasts.
I think I need to start, and I know we've said this for a while now, but I need to start to get you all of the episodes each week.
I mean, listen, there's only so many times I can ask before I just say fuck this because he doesn't want to give it to me.
It's not that I don't want to give it to you. It's just the matter of time. When I'm here already 10 hours a day a lot of the times, and I'm still far behind trying to get done what needs to be get done. That's why we're putting out that call to action with John Cena Sr. to try and find some new high-quality bodies to join the team. So I look forward to see what John Cena Sr. comes up with and his piece.
Listen, the only way we're going to be able to hire new people is if we get people to subscribe and like us, and that way maybe we can keep these things coming out for free, hire a couple people on to lighten your load, and maybe let you take a day off.
Well, I have not had one since the day, and I wouldn't even call it really a complete day off because I still had work to do, but was when I flew home from Tampa the day of Mania after we worked all week down in Tampa. I've been here I think it's day 63 or something like that. I don't know. It's getting close, if not. It's in the 60s. I know that.
Buddy, I'm telling you, burnout is a real thing. I've seen it. I've felt it. Don't do it to yourself because then you're going to start hating what you do. But at the same time,
could I possibly hate this?
No, so that's the thing is if you're doing something that you love, then it's really not work at that point in time. But at the same time, there's still a thing called burnout, and we don't want you to get to that point. So please help us out, people. Get out there, subscribe, like it, leave us a 5-star review, so that way we can keep bringing you these great episodes, very sternly but fairly each week.
And do you think we should put past episodes up of these shows?
Yeah, 100%. People want to know what we're talking about. Maybe. You know what? Maybe we'll keep the past ones in the archives, and we'll keep them locked up for right now, and then we'll put them out a little bit later on, maybe through your Patreon or through your whatever it is that you got down there, so that way we can give those people that subscribe to the Patreon a little bonus.
Well, you want to know what I'm doing right now as we speak?
You're sending me the file.
I am taking last week's, and I'm trying to do what I did last week. I'm just trying. I don't remember how.
Yeah, that's funny.
Because I had to send it via email. Remember, there was a problem. I had to shrink the size. I think this will do it. Let me see. Where am I sending this to now?
Well, as you figure that out,
you keep talking wrestling. I'll figure out.
Well, here's the thing.
What do we
I want to know. We were just talking about an all-girls show.
Oh, okay.
I overheard somewhere that your very close personal friend, Tammy Sitch, a.k.a. Sunny, finally got out of jail, and she's looking to work that NWA show. Is that true?
I didn't know she was out of jail, so I really don't know.
You don't know? Oh,
I have
Lord.
no idea. I think she'd be an interesting guest in the studio.
Would you pay Sunny money or would you pay to see Sunny back on TV at any point in time in your life?
I think she'd be an interesting guest in the studio.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Maybe we can do a in-studio Stern But Fair with her, because we know that she doesn't hold back on anything.
No. I think that's a very fair statement to make, but it's a sad story what the woman has gone through in her life. Someone that I think is very smart to the business.
See, here, you know what? You're playing the fair side of things. I'm going to get stern. You do it to yourself, people. You could say no. You could do different. You can make better choices, and she decided not to. So screw her.
Wow. How do you
and
really
I got nothing.
feel?
And listen, I got nothing against her.
Screw her.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Wouldn't be the first of times, but
no. Listen, I'm not even touching that. I wouldn't touch it with yours. But listen, people can make better decisions. People, they try to blame the business and say, "Oh, this happened to me because of the business." No, it didn't. It happened to you because you're a goof and you fucked up. Take responsibility.
Well, considering she hasn't been full-time in the business in about 2 decades, I don't know.
Has it been that long, really?
Well, when was the last time she did anything on a full-time basis?
WCW with Chris Candido.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, and when did WCW go out of business? WWE wasn't going to touch her again.
No, I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all.
But, for the human side of things, I hope she does
listen, I always want to help
rebound.
Anybody, we call this business a family because it is. So, they're my brothers and my sisters. So I don't want to see my brothers and sisters suffer. I want everybody to do good and flourish and make money and be at the top of their game. But at the same time, if you make a shitty decision and you try to blame it on somebody else, that's on you.
Well, it's been a couple of decades of bad decisions, I think, is the point that she's at.
Yeah, that's true. So what about her counterpart Cardi B trying to be at SummerSlam? What do you think about that one?
Her counterpart?
I don't know. I just kind of threw it out there.
I didn't know Cardi was in jail with her, but
no, she had come out when she was doing strip stuff. I don't know, but yeah, here Nick Khan is really pushing for Cardi B to be there. He thinks that it's going to bring all the eyes in. It's going to fill that stadium out in Vegas.
I know the name. I couldn't tell you a song that she sings. I couldn't. If you showed me a picture of her, I don't. You know what? I'm going to Google Cardi B right now. I don't
Go ahead,
know.
Pull it up.
Do I know who this woman is by face? No. I don't know if I've ever seen that woman before in my life. So
that's awesome.
Cardi, I apologize if you're listening to Wrestling Insider Stern But Fair, but I don't know you or your music. Now, what's your big hit?
I have no idea. I don't listen to her music.
I'm actually going to try and look to see if I've ever heard of a Cardi B song later on.
Yeah, just don't download it. Just maybe get a clips of it because you don't
Yeah, I'll
want that
just
stuff
listen
on
to
your...
it on YouTube. A Cardi
I
B's
just don't-
popular song or something.
I just don't know why they're pushing so hard for it. This goes back. We talked about it a few weeks back. You know, celebrities within the business, they have a place, but are they really the ones selling the tickets? I don't think so. Is somebody going to buy a ticket because Cardi B is going to be on SummerSlam? I don't know, man.
To them, I believe it gives themselves more credibility to take mainstream celebrities and include it. I mean, I didn't know who Bad Bunny was, but that guy, you know, he did a serviceable job when he was out there at WrestleMania, I thought. He didn't make a fool of himself. He certainly put in the time to try and train, so I give him credit for that. As far as what you do with Cardi B and how you do it, I maybe sing a song or maybe be a hostess. I really don't know. I don't know enough about the woman.
Well, I know that back a few months ago, there was some kind of Twitter spatter between her and Lacey Evans, and she
they're picking the wrong time to bring her in then.
I know, right? Tell me about it. But I don't know. I think there was some spatter between those two and some other people. I guess, I don't even know. I'd have to go back and read what she did. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, will she be? Maybe she'll be like what Kim Kardashian was that one year at WrestleMania. I don't know, just a host or whatever. But you know how WWE is. They're going to try to get her involved in some way, shape, or form and do something stupid with her where she'll slap somebody or I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know how much interest there's going to be in Cardi, but I could be wrong. Hopefully Cardi is a great
Do you think there's going to be
any?
You think there's going to be any interest in SummerSlam whatsoever?
I can't see them filling a big stadium.
No,
especially in that
they're
market.
Really stretching. They're really stretching.
I mean,
I don't know.
If they wanted to go the football stadium route, I would say the only one I would have rolled the dice on would have been the one near you in MetLife Stadium. I mean, Las Vegas isn't a great wrestling market to begin with, and it's not a very big market outside of one or two streets in the actual city. I mean, you're stretching, okay, are people going to drive 5 hours or 4 hours from San Diego or L.A. or Phoenix? I don't know. I mean, are people ready to fly in? I don't know. I was at the Red Sox Friday night, and it was maybe 2/3 full.
Are they allowed to have full capacity yet or no?
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
See, like New Jersey right now is a little different. We're not at full capacity yet. We will be soon. But, you know, maybe that had something to do with it because I know you mentioned MetLife Stadium.
Oh, well, you know what? See, so I stand corrected then. I didn't know that.
No, yeah. And, I mean, I'll be honest. I was looking at some of the dates that they have for their touring schedule. I don't think they're coming anywhere near the Northeast, except for the closest is maybe Pittsburgh, I want to say. So I don't know.
Is that what it is, Pittsburgh?
I think so. I think that's what I saw. They're doing a lot out west.
The home of Maria Davis.
I don't know who that is.
One of our great fans here in Boston Wrestling MWF. She's actually has moderator privileges, which we may have to give you if you behave yourself.
If I behave myself.
We'll give you the blue wrench is what we call it, because I don't know what else to call it, because it looks like a blue wrench.
Huh. So instead of calling her Maria Davis, we'll just call her the Blue Wrench.
Well, she's not the only one, so that would be a little unfair to our other moderators. But
that's true. You gotta be fair. We'll be stern, but we
can be stern, but we got to be fair. But you know, we can always use some help with the moderation. I am going to be MIA from a few of the shows from the Tuesday the 22nd through Saturday the 26th. So we're going to need moderating help, as I am not going to be by my trusty computer 24/7 like I usually am. That may be the time to do it. I do know that a week from today, you want to talk about stern, talk about a big one. WWE Hell in the Cell. Not only do you get the pay-per-view, but we're going to have the live watch-along in studio with the man that's been rocking since he came out of the womb, Marty Jannetty. Along with Marty doing a live cyber signing and watching the show, John Cena Sr. is planning on popping in. And we're going to have our annual Make-A-Wish Mega Raffle. For more information on that, you can head on over to bostonwrestling.com. A lot of those great Make-A-Wish kids have been waiting over a year to have their wishes granted. And I hate to think that some of those poor kids that are terminally ill passed away before maybe their wish was granted. So we want to do everything we can. We're going to have one giant jackpot. Someone's going to win a prize package worth well over $1,000, headlined by thanks to our friends at WWE, a Drew McIntyre art piece, one of 50, autographed by the man that'll be in the main event of Hell in the Cell. Again, head on over to the website for information on that. But, Nicholas, I've been waiting the whole show for you to unleash on a certain someone, and you still haven't done it yet.
Well, we're going to get there.
Okay, all right. We're not there yet. All right.
We're going to get there. But first, I wanted to introduce a new segment on this show.
Oh, a new segment. Okay.
It's a new segment. It might not be every week, might be every other week, but we're going to pick the brain of the biggest fan of wrestling and try to get his insight a little bit here.
Oh, you mentioned that to me. Yes.
Okay. And
now, I have no idea who this is.
I have my my wonderful, beautiful 7-year-old son standing right next to me.
Okay.
And he is the biggest wrestling fan. I'm going to ask him one question, and we're going to get him to answer the best that he can, and then we'll kick him out of the room again. But Owen, I want you to say hi to my good old personal friend. What's your name? Oh, Dan. We got Dan online with us. Okay. I want you to say hello, and then we'll ask a quick question.
Hi.
Welcome to the show, Owen. How are you today, buddy?
Really good.
Now, why are you doing really good? Did you win your lacrosse game?
We got dominated at the tournament, but we didn't win a lot of matches.
You won a lot. Well, you know what? It's better than losing a lot of matches, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, what is the big question of the week?
So the big question of the week, we'll go into, we talk a lot about all these guys getting released, right? Mm-hmm. I want to know your take on Braun Strowman getting fired. You think it's good? You think it's bad? You not even care?
I think it's good because I think when he ripped the cage open and I think he really hurt Shane McMahon and I thought they had to fire him.
So you're saying because Vince McMahon, the owner of the company, got so upset that Braun Strowman ripped the cage open, stripped Shane McMahon back into the cage, threw him off the top, broke his ribs, hurt his back.
Yeah.
That he got punished and got fired for that?
Wait, and because the steel cage was been around for a long year, and I think Vince McMahon was a part of it to make it, and I think he got really disappointed that he ripped it.
Oh, so there you have it. You have it from a 7-year-old boy, big fan, saying that he got fired because Vince McMahon was upset that he hurt his son and upset that he hurt the cage that he built with all of his millions of dollars. Can you believe that?
Wouldn't that have actually been a pretty good angle if they actually introduced it into storyline? Said, you know what? You ripped the cage open and threw my son through it. Yeah, fired. And actually had him be fired.
I mean, I don't disagree.
Give Owen Mulligan a great deal of credit for being more creative, perhaps, than what is in Connecticut.
Well, hey, listen, this is how it stems, right? So I used to live in Connecticut, and now I'm in New Jersey, and my brain goes to my son's brain, and, hey, it all works out in the end.
A lot of broing.
Yeah, there's always a ton of broing.
Well, you proved that Tiger was able to get the hole-in-one, but that's all right. That's a different story for a different time.
It is. So my son is gone. He's out of the room, and we're going to get into, and it's not going to take me very long. I want to talk about real quick, we see all these people going down with injuries and stuff like that, but that no good piece of shit, Lio Rush.
Oh, all right, continue.
So here we go. Lio Rush is out there crying the blues about his hurt neck and whatever the case might be, and now he's going to retire from wrestling because of his neck, and he wants to be with his family. You know what? Fuck Lio Rush. I don't wish anything bad upon anybody, right? But you know what? This guy has got a big head. He's got a big ego. He can't draw a dime. And for anybody that thinks he can, you can go fuck yourself. But this guy's a no good piece of shit who thinks he likes the big league people. He was fired from WWE for a reason. He didn't make any waves anywhere else that he went. And good riddance to bad rubbish. I'm glad he's out of the business.
I don't even know how to respond. I'm almost speechless. I love little Leo.
Hey, listen, you can love whoever you want, but you know what? This guy, and maybe it's just my own.
That was brutal.
It's not cruel. Fuck him.
No, brutal.
It's not. That wasn't even brutal. There's not even a lot of the things that I could have said. But look, he's somebody that is a leech on this business.
How is he a leech on the business?
He's somebody that feels like he's above the business and that he is the business and that he can do whatever the hell he wants and say whatever the hell he wants to say and make X amount of dollars and this and that and blah, blah, blah. You know what? He's nothing. He didn't draw a dime anywhere that he went. Nobody's ever wanted to pay to see him, and he can go fuck himself.
Well, I've known Leo since 2015, and my thoughts to what you would say probably would have been applied more to his former partner in crime, Patrick Clark, the Velveteen Dream, but who I personally don't like, even though he did, he was a charismatic individual in NXT. I think if what he has been accused of isn't true, I think it's a shame that he has been disparaged so much. But other than that, to me, he's one that can drop dead. But, Leo is a good human being, a very creative guy, a very hardworking guy. He tries to be innovative.
What has he ever created?
I tell you this, from the first time I met him, when he got off the bus from Baltimore, Maryland, back in August of 2015, he was working away on a laptop, working on promotional videos. He's always trying to come up with something new and unique. I like Leo an awful lot as far as what his drawing abilities are. I mean, you know what? It is what it is. Look at the way he was presented on the one national platform he was really on in WWE, more of a manager more than a wrestler itself. I don't think a lot of people are familiar with just how action-packed and high-flying he is. But, he's retired now, I believe, more than once since he was released by WWE last spring. But he is a man that has major league battles with depression. So what goes on inside of his head, only he knows.
I can't stand this whole depression stuff. Like, listen, I'm not saying that it's not out there, and I'm not saying that there's, hey, listen, I've gotten depressed from time to time, but you know what? I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for anything. I'm going to, if there's a day where I'm just feeling down in the dumps, I'm going to pick myself up. I'm going to keep going. And that's just what needs to be done. These guys that are taking all this time off or retiring from the sport because they're depressed, fuck them. Go be depressed somewhere else then, because I don't need it.
Wow. I mean,
how
do you
crazy,
really
man.
feel?
Exactly. This is how I feel, because you know what? You're taking a business that I love. And it's the same thing with the guys that go down. They're working once a week and they go down with injuries and they can't work and they can't be on TV. A lot of people don't like The Miz, but you know what? He's out there working with a fucked up knee, and that's what you do, is you work through it. You figure it out. You make your shots. These guys that need time off because they're down in doom and gloom or because they got a freaking hangnail, fuck them all. Get them out of
I think
out of his business.
To be fair, on a show that is called Fair but Stern, I believe his injury was
Stern
almost...
but fair. God damn it. You suck.
It's like Demolition. I call one Bill and I call one Barry, but they're both wrong.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And that's the truth. Every time they're here, I get their names wrong. But
hey, listen, not to cut you off real quick, but you mentioned Demolition. I just want to send my thoughts out to Demolition Axe Bill Eadie, because I hear he's not doing so well.
Well, I had a chance to text with him this week, and he is recovering comfortably. It is his daughter's home in North Carolina, so he just wants to make sure everything is working at 100% capacity before he hits the road again, and I think that's for the best. He's not a spring chicken, so to speak, but, we had, my gosh, when fans get to enjoy the content that we taped with him last month here in this studio, over the course of 2 days, we taped some tremendous interviews with Bill. I think the fans are going to love it, especially fans of 80s WWF.
Yeah, no, I wish him nothing but the best. I've worked him a few times under different characters. He's top notch. I've seen him pull a couple ribs also, which were hilarious. And, I just hope that he's got a speedy recovery and he's back out on the road doing what he loves very soon.
Well, he's got I believe, a 22-year-old and a 15-year-old at home to encourage him to get back to the Atlanta, Georgia area. I will not reveal the identity of his hometown, but he has a very young home.
Yeah.
It keeps him spry, I think.
Anyway, you were saying.
About Axe or Leo?
No, about Leo. I think I had mentioned The Miz, and you were going into something before I cut you off.
Well, I think Leo's injury is a little bit more severe than Miz's. Am I incorrect?
Sure. No, I wouldn't say that you're not. But at the same time, you're going to get hurt and then pull the whole retirement card. I mean, come on, man. You have surgery. You do what you got to do to get back, and you get back in the ring. If you really, truly love it, and this is what you want to do, you do what you got to do to get back. If not, then go fuck yourself then.
I think he's an emotional person.
Tell me about it.
I think he expresses himself in the moment as opposed to maybe sitting back and thinking about things. That's just my opinion. Again, I think the world of him. I love the interviews we did with him here in the studio. I was happy he was part of the Paul Bearer Holiday Head Lux Toy Drive last year. I'd love to have him with us in the ring again if he ever comes out of retirement at a Boston Wrestling MWF event. I just, it's hard to say what goes on in someone's head unless you're in the head.
Yeah, I trust me, I get it. But at the same time, like for somebody who's, got a public following and he's somewhat of a public figure, to be on TV one day and then come back out and just be like, and then all these other, I'm retiring, and then all these bandwagon people jump on and say how sorry you are for him. Not for nothing, I've never heard anybody beside yourself say anything good about this guy.
Really?
But that so much people talk shit about him behind his back. I don't know why they're afraid to say it in front of his face, but if he was standing in front of me right now, I'd tell him, fuck you, go fuck yourself. He's a piece of shit.
Can you give me, without naming names of who told you these stories, can you give me an example of some of the stories they told you?
Okay, so it's not even stories, something that I've seen personally.
Okay.
I went to a show around here that when he was working with Bobby Lashley as his microphone guy. And he just tried to play the star card. I was in catering, just kind of watching and visiting with a friend of mine, and the way he walked in and told somebody to get up out of their chair because he needed to let his wife sit down, just the way he talked to people, his snarky attitude. Was it towards me? No, it was not towards me. And I won't ever say that he did anything to me personally, but the things that I saw that day, and then some of the other things that I've heard about his attitude in the backstage area and how he tries to big league people and treats extra talent like shit. He forgot where he came from.
Really?
And he deserves whatever he gets.
Well, you know what? And this is maybe where I agree with you, and I think it should go for just about everybody. Keep the wives and the girlfriends away.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Keep them away. It is work. If you worked at a shoe store, would you have your wife or girlfriend in catering with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't do it at WrestleMania or something like that as maybe an exception, but at that point you put them in the friends and family section and say, we'll meet up at the hotel after the show. They should not be in the locker room by any stretch of the imagination. And I'd argue that one to the death. You know how I feel about people being in locker rooms that aren't involved in the industry. But,
I've done hundreds of thousands of shows. I've brought
hundreds
of
thousands of shows?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a wrestling icon in the
living
legend.
Wow, you really? It's a lot more than I would have guessed.
But I have brought family members to a show. I have brought my now wife to shows, but not one time have I ever brought them around the business. I've never brought them in the locker room. I've never brought them anywhere close to it. Would get dropped off and say, go find something to do until the doors open, that type of thing. And that's just what you do.
Well,
to me, that's being professional.
I will agree with that part of it. And I know he had been spoken to about that from what I was told by some friends on the roster in WWE.
Sure.
But
sure.
Yeah, I hope he overcomes whatever it is that has troubled him so much. I unlike you, likely an awful lot, and I would like to have more done with him here in the King of Sports here in New England and the Carolina. I don't know what they think of him in the Carolinas, but here in the Northeast, I think he would provide some thrilling action to the fans. You apparently don't.
No, listen, I'm not going to say anything along those lines. Is he a good talent in the ring? Can he put together a good match? Can he talk on the microphone? Absolutely. I'll give you that. But, it says something when you're one way out in front of the camera and then you're a complete piece of shit behind the camera. That's just it's not professional. It's not the way I was brought up in the business. And I'm sure that's not the way he was brought up in the business. And for somebody to think that they could big league anybody and bring, their family members around and tell them, like, hey, look at me, I'm a huge star. You're not a star. You want to know who's a star? Hulk Hogan's a star. Steve Austin's a star. Roman Reigns is a star. You, my friend, are no star.
Mother of God, this has been one of the more stern versions of Wrestling Insider Stern, but fair. But I guess it's your opinion, so it is fair. But as I share mine, all I can say are good things. The only thing even close to negative I could say about Leo is that the day we taped here at the studio, he needed a lot of time as he had to make a lot of business calls in regards to that. He was preparing for that reality show on MTV to air. So he was getting calls from those people. He needed to do, I don't know if it was Zoom things or something like that. So he did need a good chunk of time to make some calls. But other than that, every interaction I've ever had with him was a good one. You mentioned when he worked with WWE, I was the opener. I opened a Bruce Pritchard show at Kowloon that he did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did it a few times in Boston and in Phoenix. And after the show, I don't know if the fans thought they were going to get close to me because I knew Bruce or whatever, but they brought me over and they were buying me drinks and blah, 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 blah. And it was early in the afternoon of a night house show in Boston. And then funny enough, as I'm sitting there, the little fellow walks in and is staring at me behind the sunglasses, and I realized it was Leo because we had gone to Kowloon previously during his visit with us several moons ago. And we had a great talk for a little bit. I had to leave, but he went and sat down and ate. And again, he couldn't have been any nicer to me. So if nothing else, maybe he just likes me. I don't know. Because I treated him good when he was young. I don't know.
It's possible. Who knows? And again, trust me, he doesn't know me from Adam. He's never met me. I've never met him. I've never shaken his hand. I've just seen some of his antics, and I don't like that. I don't like fake people. I don't like people that, will try to tell you that they're something that they're not. That type of stuff bothers me. I've never liked it. And I'll always be the first one to call you out on it.
Well, you know what? It disappoints me in what you're saying. When it comes to someone that you like or a friend of, you want to hear people say positive things about them. But, in the end of the day, it is what it is. That's what you observed. And if that's what you observed, I don't think very highly of it, to be honest. Yeah. But could he have been having a bad day? I'm not going to try and defend a situation I didn't see. I'm just disappointed that it happened. And hopefully, being axed at such a young age by WWE, maybe long term it'll be a good learning experience for him. I would be shocked if we didn't see him back in the ring sooner than later. Once he's recovered and he has a chance to maybe calm down on the inside. Again, I can't speak for what goes on in his head, but, if there are those depression issues that have hit, he could be worn down for a little while and maybe he just needs a break. Who knows? Yeah.
And hey, listen, I don't appreciate the fact that he's got an injury. I don't want to see anybody injured or hurt, or whether you're in the business or out of the business. I don't like that. I hope he gets taken care of, whatever he's got to get taken care of. If he does come back, great. I just hope he's a different person and more humble when he comes back, and people can appreciate him for being a superstar as opposed to being a piece of shit.
When you talk about humbling, do you think that maybe he needed to be humbled cause Rovaziri style?
I think so.
You think that would have helped the cause?
I think that would have definitely helped the cause, because whenever you bring in a big cause, he's definitely there to help people humble. That's funny.
He would have gone back to Iranian style and poor little Leo's behind, and that, he wouldn't have been worried about.
He would have snapped him right in half.
He wouldn't have been able to sit down. He wouldn't have been able to sit down. Never mind take someone's chair. He would have been humbled.
He wouldn't.
He really would have had a reason to be depressed.
He would have. Oh, that's great. He would have forgot about that neck injury.
To be violated by poor Sheiky, baby.
Oh my God!
Listen to awesome. And I'm saying, here's someone I'm saying that I consider a friend. But you know what? I could make jokes like that about you too. That's just my personality. But overall, I think that man has something to contribute to this industry. And if we disagree, we disagree respectfully. That's all.
Hey, I'm not saying he doesn't have anything to contribute, because I think he does. I think he's a good. I said it before. He can talk. He's good in the ring. Can he bring something to the table? Sure. But you know what I saw that day, some of the stories I've heard from some of the people that I talked to in the business, he's just not a nice person. And, if you're going to be like that, then you deserve everything you get.
Well,
Karma is a bitch.
Bitch. You know what? Sometimes you reap what you sow. Look at what that piece of garbage partner of his, Patrick Clark, has gone through. And that is one that I hate to say it, but it makes me happy because he directly lied to WWE Talent Relations in a situation involving me, which I will hate him until I take my final breath for, because that was a malicious attack on me, not just being rude to someone in catering that he didn't know.
Right.
But anyway.
Right. Yeah.
All right, after we've buried poor little Leo after another great WWE NXT TakeOver event tonight, anything else to add other than maybe the fans should head on over to the eBay store to check out some of the great NXT merchandise we have available? All roads are being prepared to lead to Memorial Hall, Melrose, Massachusetts, Saturday night, November the 13th. Not only are we going to go back to the 80s for WrestleFest, but it is going to be the 20th anniversary of the in-ring version of Boston Wrestling MWF, an event you were part of and victorious on with your very, very, very long undefeated streak, which eventually led you to MWF Championship Gold. I know there's a lot of people talking. We have the big Board of Directors meeting on, I think, Tuesday. Your first Board of Directors meeting as a member of the board. Are you going to be stern but fair Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Right.
I'm always stern but fair.
I know.
I want nothing but the best for Boston wrestling and any other wrestling, and I can be able to get my finger on the pulse of things up there, and we're going to bring the best show possible.
Well, hopefully we will even be back in business before November the 13th, but that's the big one to us,
that's
folks.
Set in stone.
That could be the biggest event in our history.
Well, I'm definitely going to be a part of it. I hope everybody else is. As soon as tickets go on sale, I want everybody to scoop them up quick because they're going to go fast.
Biggest advance in the history of the company with 5 weeks to go before it got shut down before coronavirus. Can you believe that? We finally came up with the concept that works, and then it got killed.
And then look what happens.
Oh, my Dan Luck, as we call it. But
well, listen, I've said it once about myself. I'm going to say it about you right now. If you didn't have bad luck, you'd have no luck at all. But maybe luck is going to turn. Lady Luck might be on your shoulder. On everybody's shoulders, that November 13th is going to be a good one.
It'll be a night you will never forget. Again, not only will you be able to meet the superstars and legends of the 80s, you're going to get some of the outstanding athletes of today, tomorrow, maybe even yesteryear, in the squared circle competing on a high action-packed card that will not have the ladies on it. As you know how I feel about that. This is a men's wrestling promotion as John Cena Sr. attempts his fabulous women of wrestling. And not only that, but because of the date, November the 13th, it is the official kickoff of the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. So all three of those dynamics will explode in one bubble at Memorial Hall in Melrose on November the 13th. As they say for weddings and so on, save the date. We're going to have some announcements coming on July the 4th, from what John Cena Sr. tells me. So after you have a hot dog or a barbecue, an adult beverage, some fireworks, and wave the American flag like the proud American you are, you'll get some inside scoops on what is just the beginning of Back to the 80s WrestleFest, November the 13th.
You know what? I'm getting excited now. We might, I'm not going to make it official, but we might have to do a live Stern But Fair while we're up there.
You know what?
I don't know. I think that might be something that we have to look into.
Well, we're going to have a lot of guests in studio Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And what I'm just realizing right now, Mr. Mulligan, it is actually 5 months from today. Today's the 13th.
5 is not my lucky number, but I might make it my lucky number right now. And I'm telling you,
well, the good news is
going to be one for the ages.
The good news is next month it'll be 4 weeks. It will be 4 months from July 13th. So there you go.
There you go. Anyway.
All right. Anything else to add before we wrap up this fine post-NXT TakeOver event?
No. Fuck you, Leo Rush.
All right. Well, for my partner in crime, Tiger Mulligan, I am Dan Mirade. We will be back next Sunday night at our regular time of 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we continue our summer of 7 p.m. I know I've been a little off on some of those. Some of them have reverted back to the old 10 o'clock slots just because I'm so busy with so much to do. But I promise, the goal is 7 p.m. across the board. We will be back next Sunday night. Actually, you know what? No, we're not going to be back at our regular slot next Sunday night because we have Marty Jannetty with us. So next week, plan on Stern But Fair, probably airing at, I would say, 5 o'clock. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go early next week.
They're going to get it early. They're going to get it stern. They're going to get it fair, but they're going to get it.
Well, I remember you back at the Holiday Inn Express. You'd give it to them early, late, or anywhere in between, especially if they'd give you a free pay-per-view movie.
I mean, hey, listen, I learned all my my good things from partying with Marty.
All right. Well, for Tiger Mulligan, I'm Dan Mirade. We'll see you next Sunday. You and yours, be well. Good night. The World Wrestling Federation was live at Frankenhalle in Nuremberg, Germany, Tuesday, June the 13th, 1995. In the opening contest, Jean-Pierre Lafitte beat Duke the Dumpster Drosy. Men on a Mission with the win over the New Head Shrinkers. WWF Women's Champion Alundra Blaze retained the title over Bertha Faye. Shawn Michaels defeated IRS. Adam Bomb victorious over King Kong Bundy. The Smokin' Guns beat the Blue Brothers. Bret Hitman Hart with the win over Hakushi. And in the main event, The Undertaker defeated Kama. If you were in Nuremberg live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll Journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.